Hey everyone, it's me, Mr. T, and this is episode 6 of Boring Tattooer. Today I'd like to share with you how I interact with potential clients. I want to note that this is a style that works for me personally, and you don't have to follow it exactly. Your approach may be completely different from mine, but I hope that you will find this information helpful. By the way, don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it yet, and hit the like button. It really helps to grow this channel and helps more people learn something new from it. Every potential client that contacts me seeking a tattoo first receives this following document. You can see the full version on my website roshin.com. You're welcome to copy it, modify it for your needs, and use it in your work. Let's take a closer look at all the points in it so you'll understand why this document is necessary. The document begins with this. Describe your tattoo idea in full detail and the location on your body where you would like the tattoo. Email the images that you would like to use for reference. These images are important because they will allow me to properly visualize and design the tattoo. Please also send a photo of the location on your body where you would like the tattoo done. Sometimes people forget to mention that they have scars, stretch marks, large moles, or even old tattoos in the area where they would like to get a new tattoo. Note that we will not use or accept images of other tattoos as a reference image, as I will not copy other artists' designs. It's important to make sure that the project is a good match for me before we can discuss available appointment dates and accept deposits. If the client's email doesn't have all the information and pictures mentioned earlier, me and my assistant might not answer. We do our best to clarify everything we need from clients to begin discussing their project, because we value their time and we expect them to do the same for us. The next part explains the design process of the tattoo. At the beginning of your first appointment, we will finalize and discuss your tattoo design. Designs are not prepared prior to the session. With your input, I will design a first draft. We can brainstorm together and see if anything needs to be improved or added. This process takes around 1 to 2 hours on average. I do not charge fees for this. As for my personal preparation, usually on the day before the appointment, I choose the images I'd like to use and make a rough sketch of how I would execute the project. It saves time for the session and allows me to play with different images prior to discussing it with the client. If it's a larger or more complex project, however, I will offer to spend a whole session working on the design. In this situation, I will take payment for the hours spent working on this at my usual rate. It's important for the client to not forget that tattooers are human beings, and that designing tattoos is very time-consuming. In an industry such as this, where time is literally money, we can't spend all our free time on creating designs. We simply will not have time to live any sort of life. When I work on tattoos and design them 6-7 days a week, creative burnout can happen very quickly, and I get to the point where I don't even want to look at tattoos, much less do them. Back to the document and the pricing part. My standard rate is $2,500 per session, and my average session is usually around 5 hours. This is my current rate, and it may be updated at any moment. It took me many years of hard work and practice and developing my reputation to get to this point where I feel confident charging this rate, and there are artists who charge a lot more than me. I can make a whole video explaining why I think tattoo artists charge what they charge, and what a tattoo should really cost. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to see that. Larger projects, such as full sleeves, back pieces and others, may take 8 to 10 sessions, depending on variables such as skin type, the size and detail of the tattoo, and other factors not listed here. As this is an artistic project, there is no way to guarantee the exact amount of sessions a tattoo will take up front. Every project and person is unique. This is a crucial point to understand, as people who are unfamiliar with the tattooing process or working with high-end artists may expect it to be much faster or cheaper. This amount of sessions may be shocking to them. As a person with many tattoos from world-class artists, I can say from personal experience that the most important thing is the quality of the work. As they say, money may come and go, a tattoo is for life. I don't think it's wise to compromise on quality for the sake of saving some money. Smaller tattoos require the studio minimum of $1,000. This will cover up to 2 hours of work. If the tattoo requires time beyond that, each additional hour will be billed at $500 per hour. That should be pretty clear. The time spent on the trip to the studio, setting up my tattoo station, creating the design and making the stencil is intensive. I put a firm value on my time just as much as a client wants a quality piece. If you're not willing to wait for 6 months or longer to get in the books, we can book you in for my nearest day off. The cost of the session in this case will be $5,000. I also make sure to outline my requirements for the deposit and payment clearly. The document informs the client that payments are due immediately at the end of each session. I don't accept payment plans or any other sort of arrangement. A deposit is necessary to secure your appointment. This is $500. Deposits are non-refundable. The deposit serves to reserve all your booking dates and will be applied to the final tattoo session if the project requires multiple sessions. If it's a single session, it will be applied to that instead. For example, if we plan to make a sleeve, the client will first send a deposit confirming their appointment. After this, each session must be paid in full up to the last session, which will be partially covered by the deposit. So the payment for the final session will be $500 less. If you need to change the date of your appointment due to unforeseen circumstances, you must let us know at least 7 days prior to the session, so we can rearrange our schedules. A new deposit will be required to continue working together if you cancel or reschedule with less than 7 days notice. You can reschedule your appointment only once without losing your deposit. This rule helps me to prevent the loss of a working day. If I find out about cancellation on such a short notice, it's difficult to find another person to fill that appointment slot. Most of my clients are coming from different states and countries, so they need to plan their trip ahead of time. Once we agree on all the details regarding your tattoo project, we will send you the instructions on how to pay your deposit. The deposit is non-refundable in all circumstances. If the client changes their mind or doesn't arrive on time for the session, they will also lose the deposit. It's critically important to understand this. In addition to the cost of my work time, my assistant or me will also spend time communicating with each client and scheduling a session. This ensures the process is fair for all, including those on my waitlist. The next part explains what to expect from our time together and how clients can best prepare for their session. The tattoo session will usually start at 12 p.m. Clients only. At this time, we cannot permit any guests or visitors to be present during appointments. Any visitor other than the tattoo client will be asked to wait outside the building until the tattoo appointment has concluded. Our waiting room areas are closed at this current time. Any extra person in the work area can be very distracting for the tattoo artist. In normal days, before this pandemic, anyone coming with a client would have to wait in the waiting area. While the experience of getting a tattoo is exciting, it won't be too exciting for the people not getting it. I'm sure that there are more interesting ways to spend the day than on the waiting area sofa at the studio. Due to obvious health reasons, our waiting areas are closed at the moment, so we only allow one person per artist to be in the studio, as each artist has their own separate room. Make sure to be well rested before coming into the appointment and eat a meal beforehand to prevent low blood sugar issues. To prepare for the tattoo itself, we request that you shave the area you're getting tattooed, but please be careful not to cut yourself. A full night's sleep before a session will help you handle pain and better handle the tattoo process. Breakfast is also important and necessary. An empty stomach can lead to the low blood sugar or other issues that have caused previous clients to pass out during their sessions. I'll also ask them to shave the part of the body that they plan to get tattooed before arriving at the session. While this may not feel natural for some clients, it allows them to both control razor versus me having to do it, and also allows for the tattoo station to remain sanitary and hair-free. Personally, when I get tattooed by other artists, I always shave in the morning before the session for these reasons. Please do not drink alcohol for several days prior to your session. This may cause excessive bleeding during the session and cause an issue with the healing process. In my experience, alcohol increases the blood flow to the skin, even if you drink a day or two before the session. As a result, the skin becomes much more difficult to work with, and most often the tattoo heals poorly. It may become lighter than it should from the ink being pushed out by the additional blood flow and could have to be redone. The same thing applies to drinking after the session. Since alcohol may thin your blood, you will see an impact on how this affects the healing process and the resulting work. Beyond this, if a client comes to the session under the influence, then according to my personal rules and the law where I tattoo, I will not be able to work with them. Make sure to wear comfortable clothing that helps with the tattooing process. If you're getting a tattoo on your arm, a tank top or sleeveless t-shirt will be helpful. If you're getting a tattoo on your leg, it's better to wear shorts. As a side note, ink stains will be less visible on black cloths. I also prefer to photograph a tattoo on a black background, so that nothing distracts from the work itself. At this time, we are not providing lunch pickup service or accepting lunch deliveries. Please bring your own lunch and snacks. Tattoos are much less painful and your artist is able to work more proficiently when the body is nourished and fed. We have a refrigerator and a microwave free to use at any time. Please bring your own water bottle. The studio provides drinking water to refill bottles, as well as complimentary coffee and tea. If you're late, you must inform us via email or call the studio. If you're more than 30 minutes late without any notification, the session will be cancelled without any refund. If you don't show up for the appointment, you lose your deposit and we will not be able to work together. As for any health problems, allergies and contraindications, please warn me about this in advance. For your protection and the safety of others, you are required to notify us ahead of time if any of the following applies to you. You have felt ill or been exposed to other individuals showing symptoms of illness within the past 14 days. You have traveled within the past 14 days. You have previously tested positive for COVID-19. Once your appointment is confirmed, we will send you a link for a client waiver. Please fill out the waiver at least 24 hours prior to your appointment. Upon arrival at the studio, we will confirm that the information on your waiver is correct. We will then take your current body temperature via a touchless forehead thermometer and acquire a photo of your government-issued ID for our records. Proper forms of ID include your driver's license or passport. If your temperature shows that you have a fever, or if you show any other active symptoms like sneezing or coughing, we will assist you with rescheduling your appointment. Your deposit and the waiver being signed will be understood as agreement to the entire policy above. And in doing so, you agree that you will not be refunded the deposit for any reason whatsoever. It's essential that you include your ID, reference pictures, and a photo of the location on your body where you want the tattoo. If you do not include this, we will not be able to get back to you. We make sure to respond to emails as soon as possible, but we receive many inquiries. Please be patient and we will reply to you as soon as we can. While all of this is helpful, ultimately there is more to it. Having a contract like this doesn't mean that the potential client will understand it completely. There is a small percentage of people who contact me, receive this document, and immediately ask questions without taking the time to read it. Many questions I receive are already answered in this document. I value my time as well as theirs, and if someone is not ready to spend a few minutes and read this document, I consider this to be disrespectful and personally prefer not to work with such people. The artist is providing a unique service. I feel respect is crucial between both parties to have the best experience. Fortunately, there aren't many people that ignore this document. I want to note that all these terms and prices are current as of the release of the video. And it's possible that tomorrow or in a month I will decide to change something and new clients will receive different terms. Everything here is based on my experience and was written with the goal of minimizing all these potential problems in the future. Let's not forget that tattooing is a business. The more transparently and legitimately we operate, the better it will be for us and our clients. If you find this video helpful, hit the like button and share it with your clients and colleagues. I hope that these recommendations will make your work easier. As I mentioned earlier, you're free to copy this document, modify it for your needs, and use it in your work. Again, the full version of it can be found on my website, troshin.com, on the tattoo inquiry page. Next time I'll talk about how I design my tattoos and present them to the clients. This show is sponsored by Bishop Rotary, makers of the best tattoo machines and supplies in the industry. Thank you all and see you next time. Bye bye.